Hello everyone, I'm Patrick Lysagnt. Fleeting Structure is a story about fluid flow and crystal growth, two areas where nature really shows off. And it's also about our physical connection with spectacular patterns common throughout nature. As an artist and engineer, I'm interested in transitions, how structure forms as things change, which highlights the notion of entropy and the subtle progression of time.
Really interesting meditation on the ebbs and flows of nature and the patterns that Earth's rhythms and progressions create. I thought the dynamics of the elements, their influence, their interactions were creatively explored in this piece in a really entrancing manner. It was so engaging, and it allowed me to just sit back and revel in the marvels that exist in our world. And who needs to go to an art museum anymore when I can just sit back and let nature do its talking, and seeing how he synthesized those processes or captured the magic that is already inherent, um, and make it into one art piece to try to capture that moment and freeze it, which inherently is the basis of art. So I thought this was very inventive and a piece unlike any other I've seen before. Really glad to have stumbled on it.
So Fleeting Structure was very um, much like a Nat Geo kind of program for me in a sense where it was very much so a lot of narration, but with a lot of amazing visuals and um, things that you don't normally get to see. And it does do the job of taking you around the world. It takes in so many different images that you typically don't imagine being able to um, even fathom. And it was just really fun to see just like the time lapse of things, the explanation of everything, how it all kind of intertwined. The narration of it does the job of being very zen about it and still being very informative. And something that I did like about this versus a Nat Geo documentary is that the choice of music of it was just so unique, and it was very jazz heavy versus like piano ballads and whimsical orchestra pieces in that sense. So it was just it brought this whole other life to the visuals, and it became so much more interesting to kind of see everything uh, edited to match the music. So really great job overall.
I thought this was really interesting. It was really educational. I really liked that at the very beginning, he kind of explains what the subject is and what he's gonna end up explaining, delving more into throughout the rest of the video, because it lends context. And if you're not familiar with those things or the structures or what he was going to be kind of talking about in the first place, having that context is really nice, because then it kind of sets your brain up in a way to receive that information and to actually be able to think about it and see it and, visually be able to link concepts that he was talking about with things that we already recognize. So I thought all of it was really well structured and really well put together.
There's just some beautiful artistry being made uh, with the crystals and the way everything is photographed. Just visually very stunning, and even the narrative behind it is almost poetic. I just thought it was a really interesting and engaging piece.
I really enjoyed this film. It was super fascinating stuff I really never heard about, and I thought it was just presented in such an interesting way, like visually super beautiful and interesting, and kind of seems like experimental filmy at certain points. Um, and I felt like, yeah, the voiceover was really good, and it was very well written, and written like true like art, like not just like fact. Like it was like there was like a craftsmanship to the storytelling that I really appreciated, while also giving the viewer and teaching the viewer, giving the viewer information. So I thought that was super impressive. And then I also really loved the music that underscored the narration. It was really cool, and just made it just that much more enjoyable, and really made it like a film rather than just, a video with a lot of facts in it. So I really appreciated all the effort to make it an enjoyable cinematic experience while also, teaching the viewer stuff. So great job.
There is so much intricate intelligence piled into this piece. What I truly loved about it, my favorite thing about it, was how it valued interconnectedness, how the elements from the air to fire to ourselves all interact and impact one another, the relationships, and of course touching upon the abuse upon them through pollution, through corporations, corruption. He encompasses so much and really walks us through it in this very soft and gentle but still impactful way. His voice speaks with immediacy, even if it doesn't speak with a kind of brashness as some others might. And I love that he also touches upon his own personal life as well, because again, it's all about how we interconnect and interact with our environment and all that's within it. And I think that is the ultimate message of the piece, is to be aware of those interactions and the value that they possess.
Wow. I mean, this was an intense film. I had to stop it a few times because it's a lot of information. There's a lot of information. And I learned so much from this. It's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to look at. The images that were created, both the actual images and then I guess what you would call the inverse, or like I don't know, but like when they would take the images and then like flip them. I can't describe it, but beautiful, just gorgeous. I mean, I would take any 12 of these images and want to do a lithograph of them and put them in frames in my house. Like the imagery in this film is stunning. The cinematography is stunning. The voiceover is very, very good. The writing is excellent, very clear storytelling, very easy to learn and to understand what is going on and what we're being taught. It's not too jargony in a way that would like make me check out because I'm not a scientist. It really does help me understand what's being studied, what's being learned. I really loved it. Really loved it. So congratulations, beautiful work.
Yeah, I dug this one. I think that it's gorgeous. All of the B-roll and it's like almost like an experimental film. Excuse me. Yeah, it's like 50 minutes long, and it's really submersive in that sense, because it's, the pace is really slow, and it's very like methodical and meditative, and yeah, and I think it like allows you to really disappear in the words and the images of this, and yeah, I just really dug it. I think that it like I can really appreciate all like the strong choices, you know what I mean, and I think that it achieves exactly what it sets out to achieve.